GameStop. A place where gamers can go and buy games from people who know exactly what they're talking about. I mean, isn't that a paradise for us? They can even give us advice on things that we didn't know. A perfect place where the employees cared about games, played them themselves, and give you the perfect advice as to what you needed. With great deals, great discounts, great, pre-order bonuses, and all this other stuff. So what could possibly go wrong? The dream job, am I right? Well, that's not the case, unfortunately. So as you guys are probably aware by now, there's been a lot of rants on GameStop. But this is from the eyes of an employee, okay? So let me tell you my story, and I'll let you guys see what you think of it, alright? So I applied to GameStop. I think it was the end of September. My friend was telling me, hey, they're opening up a GameStop in our town, which, naturally I really wanted to work there. Who doesn't want to work there, right? So I went and I applied. I had an interview, a group interview, which is not fun, by the way. I hate it when that happens. But anyway, so we did that. That process went on for maybe 2 weeks, maybe 2 weeks at the most. So I think it was about fall break, and I got a call and they said, hey, we want you to work. So I said, all right. And then they were saying, orientations this day, and then after that we're going to start setting up your schedule. So I was happy along with everyone else that got hired, which was a lot of my friends actually. So, we went there and we started working, but then we quickly noticed that things weren't as they should be. So the way the work schedule works at GameStop, this is a necessary thing for the story, is that every week the work schedule changes. It's not like most jobs where, you have like a set calendar and, you work this, and then you don't work, and you guys know how jobs are. So, it wasn't that way with GameStop, so you either had to go in and see yourself or you had to call and ask. Now, naturally, I'm a little bit lazy, so I called and asked, and hey, I'm saving gas, So, I went there, and, well, I didn't go there, actually. I called, I would call and be like, hey, when do I work, when do I work? At first, I got, a few days, after orientation, which was 8 hours, and then I helped them open up the store, which was another 2 days. I've worked maybe once or twice every 2 weeks, which is not great, by the way. But I kind of accepted it, because it's a job, I didn't really want a ton of work because I was almost out of high school. I was in college classes. I didn't want to, overstrain myself with like a big job. So I kind of accepted it. But quickly, things took a turn for the worse. And this wasn't just me. This was a lot of my friends. So this started, I'm going to say, not October. November. November was, in fact, the month when this started. So I called, I was like, hey, you guys got any work for me? They'd say, nope, we're all booked up. So week went by. Next week, hey, you guys got any work for me? Nope, booked up. Same thing every single week for 8 weeks straight. And it was always the same excuse. We don't have any work. Yet the managers would get, I don't know how many hours. I'm thinking 50-something a week, and that's no exaggeration. And there were 3 of them, by the way. So figure that in. All right, they would work from, they would work a lot of hours. And one of them was pregnant, so I guess she really needed the hours before she went off into labor. And so, yeah, there was 3 managers, and then the rest of us were pretty much grunts. And there was one guy, one of my friends, that they favored. They let him work 2 or 3 days a week. The rest of us, nothing. Nothing. 2-3 times maybe the whole time we were employed, if we're lucky. And, about 8 weeks in, the 8th week after, I was thinking about the next week, I'm just going to call, and they're going to say, hey, there's no work, so I'm tired of this. So I called them, and my friend actually answered, the one that they liked. I like him too. I don't hate him. He just got lucky. I can't hate him for that. So, I was like, hey, I got any work? And he's like, nope. No surprise, right? So then I talked to the manager, and I was like, hey, manager, if you guys aren't going to give me any work, I can't work here. I need money. So if I'm not going to work, then I have to leave. And then, you know what they said? Okay. They didn't even say, well, we can't really do that. Well, we'll try. No. They just said, okay. So I was like, all right, there's my 2-week notice. And they should be lucky I gave them that. Because, the only reason I did was so it wouldn't look bad on other jobs. because you guys know how that is. So this shows how bad they are. So I'll go to school. It was Friday when I called them because that's when the schedules get made. And you know, I went to school. I was talking to my friends, and 2 or 3 friends that, you know, were pretty savvy in the Gamestop world or whatever. They were telling me, like, you know, hey, I heard about your phone call, and I was like, what are you guys talking about? So they actually told me word for word what I said on the phone. Actually, one of my friends knew the phone call better than me. Okay, you know, obviously you forget some of the things you say, you know. He knew it word for word. So, you know what that tells me? The managers did not even have the common courtesy to keep the conversation to themselves. That's how bad GameStop is. They went off and blabbed it to other people, which really is not helping them at all. So, it actually got worse. I actually was the smart one here. At first, I thought, well, maybe I should have stayed for the discount. You know, you can check out games for 4 days. That's not a myth. That's actually true. And I thought, you know, maybe I just made a mistake. Well, turns out I did not make a mistake. They fired 4 of the other people there that same weekend. And you know who they were? All the people that never got to work. And pretty much, you know what their excuse is? Well, you're fired. That's it. That was the excuse. Good excuse, GameStop. You know, none of us did anything wrong. The worst thing I did was I signed in 2 minutes early. And they got pissed. You know why? Because they're greedy. They're a very greedy company. So it actually made me kind of glad to give them that glorification of, well, you guys didn't get to fire me. And, you know, it made me feel great after that. But I feel really bad for my friends, you know, because none of us really deserved to go through that. And this was my first job, so that really does not help, you know. But it's horrible that they do this to us. And it actually gets worse. My brother bought a game from him, and I didn't tell him to say this, by the way, but my dad was like, you know, hey, you know, I was on my 2-week notice. I actually still am, technically. And he's like, you know, hey, if he comes in here, can he get the discount? You know what they said? Nope, he doesn't work here anymore. Now, is it just me, or is that, I don't know, maybe against the law to just mark me off the roster? I mean, 2-week notice means I still work there 2 weeks. 2-week notice is giving them the notice to hire someone else to fill in for me. Now, obviously, they didn't want to do that, but still, I worked there for 2 weeks. They can't just X me off. I mean, GameStop. They're greedy. And you know what else? Since I do have the insight, let me tell you exactly what they do. Okay, you know what? Actually, I'm going to try to find some stuff that they gave me, and I'm going to help you guys out. Well, unfortunately, in all the crap that they gave me, you know, I wasn't able to find anything that would actually help. There was one paper I was looking for, but it seems to have disappeared. Lucky GameStop, you lucked out this time. But I will go ahead and tell you pretty much the procedures of how we do things. It's actually on the back of all their name cards, but, you know, I didn't get to keep mine. So, basically, here's how it works, okay? You're sitting at the desk. Someone walks in. You're automatically supposed to greet them and ask them a question in which isn't a yes or no. Pretty much to mess with their brains. It makes sense, actually. To make them actually engage. Pretty much the point is so that they will talk to the people and that they will buy something. That is the deal, you know, because most of the time people just say, oh, I'm just looking, you know. That's my natural response to everything. But, yeah, that's that. And when they're actually buying something, the employees are supposed to walk around if they're still in there for a long time. If they need help, they're supposed to recommend not only what they're looking for, but other things they're looking for, discounts, things they can get, pretty much a ton of crap that they can buy. Even when they're checking out, they'll say, do you want the card? They will shove that card down your throat. Now, recently, they did kind of remove that policy, but that is still there. They'll also suggest game guides, controllers, just depending on whatever it is. Pretty much, they want you to buy. And buying a used thing is 100% profit for GameStop. So, you see that, and you just know that they are begging for money, which is also why they have a lot of discounts. Like, they'll have a buy two, get one free. Not saying not to take advantage of that, but that's just how it is. Now, back to the manager pregnancy thing. Pretty much, she went into labor, or she went on a maternal leave or whatever it's called, that weekend where we all quit and got, or why I quit and everyone else got fired. So what does that tell you guys? Well, that's like, I don't know, some 50 hours open. Maybe not 50. I'm not really sure how many it is, but pretty much that's just that much more time for all those greedy managers to take over. Not to give us to the employees who have waited desperately to get just a little bit of work and a little bit of money. You know, because we do care about games, but GameStop doesn't care about us. Power to the players, more like power to the greedy managers. That's really all I have to say. So pretty much when you walk into GameStop, just be aware they are trying to shove things down your throat. Always say no. Always say no. Do not listen to them. They think they know everything, and they really don't. Now, of course, this just applies to my GameStop. I know a lot of the GameStops use the same policies. However, there are some good ones. Actually, I think the one that lives close to, or that is close to where I live in another town, actually, that one's pretty good. I actually do like that one. That one's probably the best one I've ever been in, to be honest. They're just the best at everything. But I'm pretty sure that there's some dark stories there too. I've actually heard that there is. So looks can be deceiving. It looks like a happy little place, but trust me, it isn't. So that's all I had to say, you guys. You know, tell me below what you think. Give me some video suggestions. I was actually thinking of reviewing a game soon in anticipation of Storm Generations, which a lot of my subscribers seem to like. So, yeah. Take care, guys. See you